Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Welcome in to Game Time Decisions. We are live with you here on SportsGrid on July 3rd. Tomorrow, of course, July 4th. I am sure many of you excited for a long weekend, celebrate the holiday, kick back and relax. And if you're honest with yourself, was this your best work day? Did you put your best foot forward? Little checked out, little mail it in style? Team in the back, we were cooking, we were working. I think you'll appreciate it. I want to get right to our best bets, though, here before we get to our main event, because my best bet's going to come from the very first game on this Major League Baseball board. It's going to be Jake Irvin, over 17.5 outs recorded, getting it at a plus price as well, going up against Detroit. I think you have a bounce-back spot for Jake Irvin here. I think he goes 6 innings, if not 7, quite frankly, against this Detroit team. And again, getting that at a plus price, absolutely worth it. Seiya Suzuki, 2+ hit run RBI. Last year, Seiya Suzuki had his season-long home run over, and it took him until the very final week or so of the Major League Baseball season to get over that number. Seiya Suzuki's been unreal this year. He has 23 home runs this year. Last year's number, again, 20.5, finished at 21. He has been awesome for the Cubs, a big reason they are one of baseball's very best teams. White Sox money line from Yarnell. I don't know if that's mail it in. It feels like you're just shooting one from about 45 feet out and you're hoping it goes through the net. I don't mind it. You know what? Let's not hold back from the people. A parlay, quite frankly, that is a plus 129. You look at it and you go, I think that's a winner, but I'm not sure how much legwork went into that puppy. Stephen Kwan, what hit run RBI, talking about that Cubs-Guardians game. Robbie Ray, 5 Ks, minus 360. Our statistician worked hard on this one. He's done it in almost every single game this year. Under the 11.5, Angels, Braves. That all comes together for a plus 129. A mail-it-in parlay. You send it, you hope it comes back your direction, and it maybe sets you up for a nice July 4th slate. Here's another. Look, I don't want much responsibility for this next one, but it does tie into our main event. You could, again, it's like, it's July 3rd, Kev. Can we get this in the show? And it's like, you know what? Let's do it, guys. Aaron Judge for a walk. Aaron Judge for a strikeout. Aaron Judge for a hit-run RBI. Double Judge on the graphic, baby. Plus 144. Now we're starting to feel the juice. I think maybe we're just trying to wake the people up. The reality is Yankees-Blue Jays is absolutely the main event of tonight's Major League Baseball slate because Toronto takes the first 3 games of this 4-game set, and they now find themselves on a tiebreaker in first place. Both the Yankees and Blue Jays are sitting at 48 and 38, so the winner of this game is going to sit in first place. If you look at the odds for this division, the Yankees find themselves not just the favorite, but still a minus price, a minus 150. I think one of the reasons for that is the fact that the run differential for the Yankees of plus 103 is tied for the second best in baseball and tied with the Tigers for the very best in the American League. Toronto's a plus 6. That's the 8th best mark in the American League. I think it shows that the Yankees right now on a downswing and Toronto on a hot swing met at the level. But at some point, the Yanks will get on a little bit of a run. Maybe Toronto drops off. And those are the ebbs and flows of a Major League Baseball season. And that is what Big 99 Aaron Judge talked about when asked about the fact that the Yankees now find themselves not in first place.
You guys have lost 13-19. Blue Jays caught you for first place. First time you're not alone since middle of April. Is that concerning, or do you just say that's part of a long season?
No, it's a long season. We got to play better. That's what it comes down to. We play better, we'll put ourselves in a better position, but it's not concerning. We're not concerned about what's going on around us. We got to control what we do in this room and what we do out there on the field. And, we're not getting the job done right now. So that's what it comes down to. Just can't focus on what other people are doing and who catches us, who doesn't catch us, where we're at. You just got to play better, and that's what it comes down to.
And look, I think Judge is right about it being a long season. I always find it weird when you hear, just got to play better, right? Aaron Boone, post-games, we showed a lot of fight. It's like, brother, it's baseball, man. Like, of course you're showing fight. You're playing a divisional opponent. This team is continuously losing close games. They've lost, 13 of 19. In that run, they've played 6 one-run games. They've lost all 6 of them. The Yankees are just one of 2 teams who are above 500 overall, yet below 500 in one-run games. The other team is the Cincinnati Reds, who are 10 and 11 in one-score games. The Yankees are 12 and 17. That is abysmal. It is almost impossible to be that bad and yet be this good. The Yankees have things that they can clean up. But will they? Will this team be aggressive at the deadline and make the right moves? And the reality for the Yankees is the level of baseball they're playing right now has invited some optimism for the rest of this division. Not just Toronto, but the Rays are only a half a game back. So the Yankees are going to find themselves pushed all year long just to win a division. Now, the bright side for the way baseball, I know last year didn't work where the top 2 teams, the Yankees and the Dodgers, made it, but the way the postseason has worked in recent history, you can make it as a wild card team. And the Yankees still profile as a team you absolutely expect to be in the race, right, in the playoffs. They are right now 5.5 up on the last or the 4th wild card team, right? So the team right on the outside looking in, which would be the Texas Rangers. But for the New York Yankees, the expectations for this team is not just make the playoffs. It's be great. And the fact for the Yankees that now you find yourself having negative conversations, despite the fact that Judge is just once again back to hitting 360, it's concerning. It felt like the Judge drop-off that people were feeling was an inevitability, right? He finished June hitting .354. And then the last 2 games in this series, in 6 at-bats, he's put up 5 hits, a home run, 3 RBI, 4 walks. I mean, it's ridiculous. He has a smooth on-base percentage of .900 in the last 2 games. And the Yankees find themselves losers because they somehow have given up 12 runs and 11 runs in the 2 games. Now, the Yankees are in a good spot here. Clark Schmidt's in a much better spot in a bounce back where he was bad against the A's at home, and I think he should pitch well. Bassett is kind of fallen apart. This is someone who started out red hot for Toronto this season. First 4 starts was pitching to a sub-1 ERA. Entered the month of May, pitching still to, at some points, a sub-3 ERA. He is now above a 4 and should be hit tonight. He struggled against lefties. I think Jazz Chisholm over the 1.5 hit run RBI at a plus price is a nice look here in Blue Jays Yankees. But I still feel that the biggest piece of this stretch of baseball for New York, it is not necessarily about a divisional lead. And it is not necessarily, with respect, about Toronto showing great fight. It's about the top of the American League. It's about the pricing in the AL pennant market, where the Tigers are now the favorites at plus 280. And the Astros are not far behind. And I would continue to make the case on Houston at the now plus 380 price, with a 1-2 of Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez that can push any team's 1-2. A team that had been given nothing all season from their best hitter, who was Yordan Alvarez, and is hitting on youngsters again like Jeremy Pena and Cam Smith. The Astros at 52-35, 6.5 up in their division right now, and 2 games back at Detroit for the best record in the American League, are not far behind, making a case for the favorite. And also jumping the New York Yankees. We'll see if they get the job done tonight. They are booked as favorites to avoid a 4-game sweep in division. We'll talk more about that here. It's a quick break. It's Game Time Decisions on SportsGrid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to Game Time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Lost Pages. Let's get lucky.
Back right here on Game Time Decisions. Kevin Walsh with you on SportsGrid. We're joined by John Jastrzemski, who covers all things New York sports. And there's quite a bit going on right now, John, in New York sports. I want to start with the Yankees. They lose 3 in a row to Toronto. They're now not in first place. They'll be a full game back if they drop another one here. What do you feel the panic level is at for Yankees baseball?
It's been ratcheted up quite a bit, Kev. And look, they're going to make the playoffs. The American League, for the most part, is pretty weak. But let's just think about this for a minute. About a month ago, the Yankees were 9, 10 games up, comfortably ahead in the American League East, where you had to be wondering, are they going to be on cruise control basically until we hit the month of October? Well, we've gotten our answer to that question. It's clearly a resounding no. And a lot of the warts and the deficiencies of the baseball team have really been highlighted in these last few weeks. The lineup, which was very good over the first 2 months of the year, now can't buy a big hit to save their lives. They've had some injuries in the bullpen that have kind of compromised certain guys, and they've just regressed a little bit. And now all of a sudden, Thursday's game is big. Subway Series takes on more meaning. Look, I think the Yankees will ultimately be a playoff team, but I think you have legitimate reasons to be concerned with what you've seen over the last month.
Yeah, I think the tough bit is some of the losses coincided with the slump, and it wasn't even that long for Aaron Judge. And it's like, oh, okay, same old Yankees. Either he has it going or no one has it going. But now he's back to hitting, and then all of a sudden they're giving up 23 runs in a 2-game window. It feels like despite having one of the best run differentials in all of baseball, JJ, this team has to enter the deadline looking to make multiple high-level moves for people to feel confident about this team actually competing for a World Series.
I think that's totally fair. And for starters, Kev, let's look internally. They have a guy who should be playing second base, playing out of position at third base. And a lot was made of the Yankee defense last year in the World Series, of course, the 5th inning that will forever live in infamy. Going into this year, hey, the Yankees are going to be more fundamentally sound. Well, they were over the first 2 months of the year. They haven't been over the last few weeks. When you have Jazz playing out of position, Anthony Volpe looks like a lost soul at shortstop. Ben Rice, not a great defensive catcher, costing you a game potentially in the 8th inning yesterday. And yeah, to your point, I would say the Yankees thinking deadline, I think they must add an infielder. And they need to add a couple of bullpen arms. I'm not there with the rotation because you're going to get Heel back. You're going to get Yarborough back. I think they're fine there, assuming there are no other injuries. But multiple bullpen arms and an infielder are an absolute must for this team.
All right, let's switch it over to the Knicks. We were fortunate enough, I believe, the first time you and I talked, to talk on the day that Thibodeau was fired. And you were pessimistic about how they were going to fill that vacancy. And they fill it with Mike Brown, who I think by anyone's measure was not option number 1 for the Knicks. Now that the dust is settled and it is Mike Brown, how do you feel about the Knicks' path to finding a new head coach?
It's a hire. I don't think it's a bad hire. I think if you look at Mike Brown's credentials, on paper they look really good. He did a nice job in Sacramento, specifically with the way they were playing offense. But can I tell you with certainty that Mike Brown is a better head coach than Tom Thibodeau? No, I don't think he's a better head coach, number 1, than Tom Thibodeau. Number 2, I wish the guy who was coaching the team last year was coaching the team this year. Now, that all being said, Kev, they still are the favorites in the Eastern Conference to go and win this thing. They should next year find themselves in the NBA Finals. And this is something I said on my New York podcast, and I will double down with you. If the Knicks are not playing in the NBA Finals next year, I think the season is a colossal disappointment. I know that's ridiculously unfair to Mike Brown. I know that's going to sound unreasonable for a lot of the guys on the team, but they were in Game 6 of the conference finals last year. Boston doesn't have Jason Tatum. Indiana, who was going to be the team to beat in the East, lost Tyrese Halliburton in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So who's keeping me up at night? A Cleveland team that never can win in the postseason that I don't trust. Orlando's spunky and improved, but okay, Orlando, they have a long way to go before all of a sudden they're the top dog within the conference. Atlanta's pesky, but again, major jump we're talking about. And Milwaukee has nobody on the perimeter. So Mike Brown, the edict, the gold responsibility, you better find the Knicks some way, somehow in the NBA Finals.
Well, so let's take that then, JJ. It's finals or bust. Mike Brown's there. Been to the finals once before. Conversations aren't going away just yet with number 23 in purple and gold. If the Knicks could bring in LeBron, if, say, Cleveland's uninterested, LeBron wants to find his way to New York, where would you land on LeBron James being a New York Knick?
So it's interesting. I've thought a lot about this. I don't want to trade Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson. That was one of the rumored trades that was proposed. I think that totally kills your defense. We're not talking about peak LeBron defensively. He's still an unreal offensive player. He's an evolved offensive player and can do some wonderful, wonderful things. I don't want to lose my on-ball, unreal wing. And now I have a team that's Brunson, Towns, LeBron, Mikal Bridges. I just think your defense is going to take a major, major hit. And, oh, by the way, Mitchell Robinson's gone. To me, a LeBron trade to the Knicks works in one way and one way only. It means Karl-Anthony Towns is going back to the Lakers. That's the only way, Kev, you can sell me on, yeah, I'd be on board with it. Because you would, still maintain your defensive integrity as a team, and you would just look different from an offensive standpoint. I don't know if you would necessarily look better, because Karl-Anthony Towns spaces the floor a lot better than LeBron James, but you're asking me how you could sell me on it? That's how you sell me on it.
Yeah, I gotta say this. If they can get LeBron for Cat with make the finals expectations, they should do it in 2 seconds. He finished 6th in MVP this year, JJ. 6th. It's right there for the taking. And the other team that's talked about is Cleveland. So if it's an arms race, I just can't believe that there's so many people who are at arm's length when the East is this open. Orlando's given up all these picks for Desmond Bane. If the Knicks or Cavs could bring in LeBron, I feel like they should probably try and get that done in a second.
I get it. But again, Lakers got a tango, and you got to give them something that's worthwhile. And that, to me, is going to be the interesting subplot here. Lakers punting, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it'll be fun. JJ, appreciate it, man. Enjoy the holiday weekend. We'll be right back on SportsGrid.
I was betting on the games and stuff, and I didn't always take the Expos. And there was a game once the Expos came back from like a 9-2 deficit in like the 9th inning. And on the post-game show, I got like 3,000 calls. The phone was blowing up. Bretzi, that was the greatest game in the last 10 years of the Expos. Awesome stuff. Hey, what do you think? I'm like, what I think? The Cubs suck.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Just have them put on that hat so the moment can be immortalized. Not Will Riley wearing the hat of the Utah Jazz when he is going to play for the Washington Wizards. It is so dumb. Stop it. You want to do official in terms of your draft tracking status? Fantastic. Switch the hats. Let the moments live. Let them be significant and special. Rant up.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Put Pete Crow Armstrong on the mound to see what he does. Like, Ohtani, just by himself at the plate, is the best hitter in Major League Baseball. Let's just say, keep it in the National League at this point. He's the MVP. So I can't wait till he pitches 6 innings, gives up 5 earned runs. Time they go like, I don't know if he can be the MVP now. Oh, no, he's still hitting 300 with 45 jacks and just pitched 6 innings in a Major League Baseball game. And people are going to hold that against him.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Will Aaron Judge be at the top of the home run board in MLB? What say you?
Judge probably is going to hit 55, 58. Somewhere around there is his number there. So I'll say I'm going to buy this. And Aaron Judge will lead the major leagues in home runs this year. Listen, I'm not breaking news. I probably would take that every year. And when he plays this next couple until he's getting up there in age, until his bat does start to slow down.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, back to right here on Sports Grid. Let's talk a little WNBA before this slate gets underway. For anyone who may have missed it, and just in its totality, the Commissioner's Cup, which Indiana wins without Caitlin Clark. The Fever, we talked about that game this past Saturday on Betting Above the Rim. The Fever were 4.5-point dogs as odds makers seemingly were projecting Caitlin Clark to play in that game. She did not play in that game, and Minnesota closed as a 10.5-point favorite and then proceeded to lose the game by 15. The offense did not show up for the Lynx. They were held to 7 points in the second quarter of that game after taking an 8-point lead at the end of the first quarter. I think at one point we're up double digits in the beginning of that basketball game. It just quickly went away, and it's a great win for the Fever. It doesn't count towards the standings, but it is something that matters. There's some money on the line, and I think that it doesn't count towards the record, but it matters for this group in Indiana. The thing is now, as you pivot off of that, what is the Caitlin Clark timeline? Because this is a Fever team who are now 8-8. They enter tonight's game against the Vegas Aces without Caitlin Clark once again. And yes, beating the Lynx is awesome, right? But from the standings perspective, is she back and ready to play Saturday against LA? Probably not. And then you're off until the 9th, so that's a week from yesterday. And that's a legitimate gap of time. Caitlin Clark's last game was the 24th. So you're in that window giving her off 2 full weeks. But the thing is, that's starting to feel like maybe the earliest in terms of a possible return. Now, for the Fever, if Clark were to, say, be out until July 15th, right, which would be 3 full weeks out, you've split in the first 2 in her absence, and then you win the Commissioner's Cup. A lot of momentum. You're home for 5 straight games. Aces, Sparks, Valkyries, Dream, Wings. They're going to be booked as favorites without Clark in 3 of those games, probably. Probably. They have to maintain this level. They have to, without Caitlin Clark, to make sure that they are in the playoffs, that they are not putting themselves in a nightmarish spot seeding-wise. But on the other side of this court tonight is an Aces team who needs it way more and cannot let go of the goodwill that they just built up off of their best victory all season without question. This is a Vegas team who, yeah, there's a win in Seattle in there, but there's not a lot of, whoa, they're back victories through their 8 victories, 8 losses, 16 games. But they win at Phoenix, a Mercury team who's been playing really good basketball. Alyssa Thomas is playing MVP style. Satu Sabale's been great. Kalia Copper's back in the fold. And Vegas gets that win with Aja playing an awesome game. 26, 18, and 7. Arguably the only player in the league who can really put that up. They have to get the job done again tonight. I tend to like Vegas minus the 4.5. I think Jackie Young for 2 made threes, you can get it at minus 115, is a nice look as well. The Liberty are in a good spot getting back home. They desperately needed to return to the Barclays Center, and they've been great at home. This team's played 4 straight games on the road. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games, now sitting 11-5 overall on the season. Sabrina Ionescu is in another bounce-back spot. Her efficiency has been very, very poor in her most recent stretch of games. 18%, 9%, 22%, 33%. In her last 4 games. She also missed a game, I know, during that run as well. Sabrina tonight over 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Not a bad look. Another bounce-back spot would be Gabby Williams, who's kind of been a do-it-all player for the Storm, coming off of a really bad loss to the Valkyries where they were absolutely punished, 84-57. One of the big reasons was Gabby Williams shooting 1 of 11 from the field, no assists, 2 points. It was a really bad effort. Gabby Williams tonight, 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Isn't a bad look. You then get some big spreads late night. I don't mind playing the Wings, catching 11.5 at home. from Phoenix, but I prefer the Mystics catching 11.5 on the road against the Lynx. Washington's been good against the number off of a loss this season. The Lynx coming off of a Commissioner Cup game, so you're at a rest disadvantage, may not be as locked in. So I think you could very well get some value on Washington tonight. They pulled off upsets. I don't know if they pull off this one, but they're live on that 11.5 number. That's where the WNBA board sits. We're going to take a break, come right back with you live on SportsGrid.
I was betting on the games and stuff, and I didn't always take the Expos. And there was a game once the Expos came back from like a 9-2 deficit in like the 9th inning. And on the post-game show, I got like 3,000 calls. The phone was blowing up. Morency, that was the greatest game in the last 10 years of the Expos. Awesome stuff. Hey, what do you think? I'm like, what I think? The Cubs suck.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Just have them put on that hat so the moment can be immortalized. Not Will Riley wearing the hat of the Utah Jazz when he is going to play for the Washington Wizards. It is so dumb. Stop it. You want to do official in terms of your draft tracking status? Fantastic. Switch the hats. Let the moments live. Let them be significant and special. Rant up.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
With Pete Crow Armstrong on the mound to see what he does. Like, Ohtani, just by himself at the plate, is the best hitter in Major League Baseball. Let's just say, keep it in the National League at this point. He's the MVP. So I can't wait till he pitches 6 innings, gives up 5 earned runs. Time they go like, I don't know if he could be the MVP now. Oh, no, he's still hitting 300 with 45 jacks and just hit 6 innings in a Major League Baseball game. And people are going to hold that against him.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Will Aaron Judge be at the top of the home run board in MLB? What say you?
Judge probably is going to hit 55, 58. Somewhere around there is be his number there. So I'll say I'm going to buy this. Aaron Judge will lead the major leagues in home runs this year. Listen, I'm not breaking news. I probably would take that every year. And when he plays, at least the next couple until he's getting up there in age, until his bat does start to slow down.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Back right here, it is Game Time Decisions. Let's just update you quickly on some of the various options we're offering here on the grid tonight. My best bet's underway. Hard to be worse than how Jake Irvin started. He's given up 3 runs, and it took him 39 pitches to get through the first inning. Not great. Seiya Suzuki maybe helped the people out. White Sox money line maybe helped the people out. Uh-oh. I think the other night, I think it was Tuesday, I think we went 4-0 as a team on the best bets. You gotta worry about the reverse whammy at this point. I know I am. And I know I'm taking the other 2 down with me, but you know what? That's how I feel. Other options for you, look, mail it in on a Thursday. We're not really mailing it in, but it just feels like it. Stephen Kwan, 1-hit run RBI. Robbie Ray, 5Ks. Angels, Braves, under the 11.5. Bryce Elder, bounce back spot, anybody? Bryce Elder, Jose Soriano, 10-plus Ks combined, -120. Add it to your card. Add it to your card. Aaron Judge for a hit, run RBI, a walk, a strikeout, +144. That's the most ridiculous thing I think we've seen on this show. I think it's the most, and we have Coach on quite a bit. Think about that. I'm on Jazz Chisholm over the 1.5 hit run RBI in that baseball game. So we'll keep you updated on everything going on Major League Baseball wise tonight. But I want to hit on something that we just talked to JJ about, which is LeBron and where he could potentially go. And I understand that some teams may not want to give up a ton for a guy who could potentially retire in a year or 2 or 3. He's not playing 5 more seasons in the NBA. But when you look right now, especially in the Eastern Conference, right? The Knicks and the Cavs are currently on their own tier, a slight drop-off getting down to Orlando, which is ridiculous. And then it is a next drop-off to Atlanta, Philly, Detroit. I mean, are you hearing that? Are you hearing this? And what is holding back the Knicks and the Cavs is a lack of trust in the current guys in that building. That's what it is. It's trusting that a team who rosters Brunson and Cat defensively have enough to get the job done. It's trusting a Cavs team and Donovan Mitchell who can't get past round 2 to get the job done. Despite the fact that those teams win in a regular season at a high level, despite the fact that Donovan Mitchell and Brunson both put up a ton of points in the postseason, you can tell that those numbers are reserved. You can just tell. Those teams are not creating enough separation to the Orlando Magic. And some of that is overbooking of Orlando, but it's also a lack of belief in the Knicks and the Cavs. Well, LeBron James comes with that belief. I don't know what world anyone else is living in. LeBron finished 6th in league MVP voting this season. Not 2 seasons ago, not 3, this one. 2nd team All-NBA. And there are zero postseason question marks when it comes to LeBron James. Don't be ridiculous. Because there were no postseason question marks when it came to LeBron in these playoffs. LeBron was better than Luka in these playoffs for the Lakers. That's how that played out. Because that's how it always, for LeBron, continues to play out. Box score plus minus in these playoffs. Just pulling it up. First, Giannis. Second, Jokic. Third, LeBron. 4th, Tatum. 5th, Shea. 6th, Donovan Mitchell. Does it sound like I'm pulling something out of thin air? I didn't create the formula. What are we doing here? Like, listen, and to be honest, it's less about the Knicks and it's more about some of the Cavs stuff I'm hearing. Oh, are we sure Cleveland would get better if they added LeBron and lost Darius Garland? Or what world are you in? You mean fringe all-star Darius Garland? What are we talking about? And by the way, the Cavs wouldn't have to lose Garland and Jared Allen. They would lose Garland and DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter, who most people somehow probably still don't know he's even on that Cleveland team. Where are they losing Darius Garland? The 9th best point guard in the league? What are we doing? And look, if you're the Knicks, OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson leaving could put you in a position, admittedly, somewhat similar to the one the Lakers found themselves in with, hold on, how do we complete the rest of this roster? We don't want Cat to be our only center. We'd like to add some defensive strength. The thing is, unlike the Luka deal, you don't have to do this one in the middle of the season, right up against the trade deadline, trade for the center, and then have to rescind it because you don't trust the guy's back to hold up. So if you are the Lakers, you can polish this thing correctly. Or if you are the Knicks, excuse me. And what's fascinating is we have this bizarre situation where some people from one side of the table want to tell me that LeBron James is not really worth acquiring for these teams, but also the Lakers wouldn't want to do the deal if they were to get back Karl Anthony Towns. Well, I don't know what world we're in then. Which one is it? I don't understand which lane we're trying to walk. So, and this is one of those things that, like, the more you pay attention to it, the more you realize that there is something here with the LeBron James situation. And, you know, as we were talking or as we were getting underway, the Lakers have brought back Jackson Hayes. That's fine. I think the Lakers should have played Jackson Hayes actually in the playoffs. I thought J.J. Redick messed that up quite a bit. But the Lakers' number one goal this offseason was fixing the center position. So far they brought back their starting center, who they refused to play in the playoffs, and then brought in DeAndre Ayton, who 5 days ago nobody knew was even going to be an option. And this is the only thing the Lakers have been working towards since the deadline. Fixing the center position. The Lakers seem to have a priority of, if we have cap space in 2027, someone will sign with us. Despite the fact that seemingly no one can actually get to free agency anymore, at least no one that matters at that level with respect to Miles Turner and guys of that nature. I'm talking about the Giannis and Jokic and Booker and those guys of the world. That seems to be the Lakers' plan. And if that's their plan, fine. But then it would be time for LeBron to move on. And this piece, finally, for those people go, then why did LeBron opt in? In what world are you going to be comfortable with one of the 10 best players in the NBA making the minimum? That's crazy. I'm old enough to remember everybody complaining that LeBron James-led super teams ruined the NBA. And now apparently everybody wants LeBron to make $2 million a year to go join the Knicks and the Cavs. But the reality is 95% of people don't know how to talk about LeBron James. Good thing I'm in the 5%. We're talking hot dogs next. All right, maybe we did nail it in on a Thursday. Let's get in the mix here, people. We're right back on Game Time Decisions.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to Game Time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Today is Wednesday, July 2nd, just a few days away from Independence Day, the 4th of July. When you think about July 4th, how do you celebrate? Probably some friends over, maybe by a pool, in the backyard for a barbecue. Well, for me and many others, it starts bright and early watching an event on the corner of Surf and Stillwell on Coney Island. That would be the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest. So we are very pleased, bright and early here on this Wednesday morning, to welcome on, and still the reigning mustard belt winner, Patrick Bertoletti, to the early line on this Wednesday. Pat, we appreciate the time. The champ is officially here. We are so glad to have you on the early line to break down the success of 2024 and your hopes for 2025. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me out today.
Bright and early, by the way. Pat already traveling to New York in his pre-event and contest preparation, so we duly appreciate the time. Last year, of course, Pat, big news for the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest. The champ and the GOAT, Joey Chestnut, not involved. But you matched the opportunity and rose to the occasion. On the corner of Surf and Stillwell, a personal best, 58 hot dogs and buns to claim your first ever mustard belt. What did it feel like on July 4th, a year ago, to put on that mustard belt as the champion at the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest?
Well, probably one of the greatest days of my life. I will say that when they actually tried to physically put that belt on, it didn't feel very good because I had so many hot dogs in me. So this year, if I win it, maybe they need to go a little bit less tight after eating the hot dogs.
Restrictive on the hot dogs here. Let me ask you this question, because you get a lot of fame here from eating all those hot dogs, and there's not much going on the 4th of July, particularly early in the day. There's baseball later, there's hot dog eating contests in the morning. But outside of eating hot dogs, like, how do you prep for this competition and maybe some of your favorite foods that you've eaten in competition?
Yeah, I mean, the practice for this event in particular is just eating hot dogs. You have to build up a tolerance to the food. I'm not opposed to saying that Nathan's is like the best hot dog. I could still eat a Nathan's hot dog right now. I love them. I appreciate them and hot dogs in general. But I think one of my favorite foods outside of hot dogs is probably blueberries. I did that last summer and ate a lot of them in 8 minutes. And probably my favorite record, I think 18.5 pounds.
Pat, as I saw it yesterday on your page on Major League Eating, one of the 35 records you hold is blueberries. Of course, this year at the 2025 hot dog eating contest in just a few days, Jaws will be back. Joey Chestnut steps back into the ring at the hot dog eating contest. Last year, your first title in 9 total appearances, but still outside of that, 4 top 3 finishes as well. What will it take this time around to beat Joey Chestnut?
The goal this year is just another personal best. I know Joey's extra motivated this year. I'm good friends with Joey, so I don't know. A lot has to go right for me to win. A lot has to go wrong for him to lose. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
By the way, Patrick, you take a look, too. You get 10 minutes to eat these hot dogs, and we like to talk adversity in sports. Like, oh, you get cramping. You probably get cramping eating hot dogs as well. When you see that countdown to the clock goes off and you have those struggles, how do you just push through and just keep eating?
Yeah, there's usually the physical wall, like hitting the wall, which happens. It's normally a mental thing, but you just have to close your eyes, focus, and you really have to overcome everything that's telling you to stop. And that probably is the hardest part about the eating. Eating is such a simple thing. I mean, we all do it, but it's also a lot more difficult than people realize, and it's not the easiest sport to do.
No, it is certainly not, and we appreciate you doing it each and every year on the corner of Surf and Stillwell. Pat, one of the things I have always wondered, after you eat a personal best 58 hot dogs and buns, like you did last year in 2024 to claim the mustard belt, what are the few hours like post-competition? What's the routine after you take down 58 hot dogs?
Man, it felt so good last year, but then about 2 hours after, I crashed pretty bad. Hung out with family, took a car ride back into the city, and just just crashed. You know, it wasn't. It all caught up to me, all the emotion. I mean, I've been doing competitive eating for 20 years, so it all came on hot and heavy, and yeah, a lot of liquid, a lot of naps, Pepto-Bismol, and a lot of regrets, but also happiness as well.
To the victors go the spoils there. Let me ask you this question, too, because being a big eater here, do you ever roll into a buffet and be like, you know what? I'll take this as a challenge right here and just say, let me see if I can bankrupt this place.
God, I actually am a chef in Chicago, so I know how those buffets work. It is very difficult to get your money's worth. So I don't really do the buffet thing anymore, but when I do anything that's outside of a competition, I usually keep a low profile, and it's fun to do that and surprise everyone. So yeah, that's what I like to do, is come in incognito and just see the managers bug out when I eat like 20 plates of food.
Yeah, that's always good. Leave a surprise on their face.
Yes.
Pat, as you mentioned, blueberries, part of the 35 records that I was able to count. Some of the foods included pancakes, key lime pie, boneless chicken wings, Rocky Mountain oysters, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Of all the records that you hold, what is the one you are most proud of?
Say that one more time.
I said, of all the records that you hold, and mentioned some of those foods, key lime pie, pancakes, boneless chicken wings, what is the one that you are most proud of?
I think it's the blueberry one. I also I just set one through Guinness record, 6.9 liters of raw eggs in 1 minute. That's a very good one. That's good.
Man, that's protein.
I would say so. I don't think Donnie's even trying to go after that record. Patrick Bertoletti, and still the reigning champ of the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest that will put the mustard belt on the line once again in just about 48 hours. Pat, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much for being here on this Wednesday.
betting on the games and stuff, and I didn't always take the Expos. And there was a game once the Expos came back from like a 9-2 deficit in like the 9th inning. And on the post-game show, I got like 3,000 calls. The phone was blowing up. Bretzi, that was the greatest game in the last 10 years of the Expos. Awesome stuff. Hey, what do you think? I'm like, what I think? The Cubs suck.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Just have them put on that hat so the moment can be immortalized. Not Will Riley wearing the hat of the Utah Jazz when he is going to play for the Washington Wizards. It is so dumb. Stop it. You want to do official in terms of your draft tracking status? Fantastic. Switch the hats. Let the moments live. Let them be significant and special. Rant up.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Put Pete Crow Armstrong on the mound to see what he does. Like, Ohtani just by himself at the plate is the best hitter in Major League Baseball. Let's just say keep it in the National League at this point. He's the MVP. So I can't wait till he pitches 6 innings, gives up 5 earned runs. Time they go like, I don't know if he could be the MVP now. Oh, no, he's still hitting 300 with 45 jacks and just pitched 6 innings in a Major League Baseball game. And people are going to hold that against him.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Will Aaron Judge be at the top of the home run board in MLB? What say you?
Judge probably is going to hit 55, 58. Somewhere around there is his number there. So I'll say I'm going to buy this. Aaron Judge will lead the major leagues in home runs this year. Listen, I'm not breaking news. I probably would take that every year. And when he plays, these next couple until he's getting up there in age, until his bat does start to slow down.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All My game time decisions were so back, it's crazy. Listen, Patrick Bertoletti, the reigning hot dog champ, ate 58 dogs. He joins our early line crew. We played that just for you now. And while I thought that was relevant, he said, goal is for a personal best. That would be 59 dogs. Maybe he wants that round 60 number. FanDuel is offering a ton of bets on the hot dog contest, including our guy Bertoletti's over-under at 54.5. I'm just saying, if the goal is a best bet, is a best record, that would be at least, even if he doesn't get to 58, right? 55, 56, 57. There's a window. There's a window. I just think I'm going to be in the mix. Joey Chestnut, by the way, minus 1,800 to win tomorrow. That's wild, man. That's pretty wild. Lets you know where things are. Bertoletti is in a winner without Joey Chestnut market. The favorite around, I think, minus 170. So gives you an idea. Hot dog contest is tomorrow. Some updates on the board. The Aaron Judge parlay. You know, the one where it's like basically every at-bat, you guys are probably going to get something. Hit by pitch, first at-bat. Doesn't even make sense. Doesn't even make sense. So we're one at-bat in. We've recorded nothing so far. Yanks do nothing in the top half there. Runs aplenty in Washington, Detroit, as the 3-0 start for the Tigers was 5-3 at the end of the first. James Wood just hit another home run. I mean, this guy's having a breakout year. It's a good thing we talked about him before anybody on this show, Game Time Decisions. We were all over it. He has, 23 home runs now? Here's a question for the Major League Baseball sickos. MLB trade value rankings, right? Like you'll see this in the NBA quite a bit. Where would James Wood land? Like if a team was trading for Aaron Judge and a team was trading for James Wood, who would be giving up more? I think Judge, I think still, despite the age gap. This is actually so up Tom Vecchio's alley, I may just leave that there, and we'll just kind of wrap around. Jake Irvin, though, nice work in the top of the second there, so now we maybe get a little bit of life. Threatening and scoring are the LA Angels against Bryce Elder. Bryce Elder? Has anybody, seen what the Bryce Elder last 4 starts, what that looks like? So 4 starts ago, he went 8 innings against the Giants and struck out 12 batters. Since that, in 3 starts, he has gone 10 2/3 innings. He has allowed 18 earned runs and only recorded 8 strikeouts. I don't know. I guess Bryce Elder is just really bad. I thought there were some numbers that said Bryce Elder might be all right. Not all right. Not good. By the way, the Fighting Craig Missions do it again. The Miami Marlins put another win up on the board, beating the Minnesota Twins 4-1. Under the hat, but not really under the hat. We talked about it on this show. Marlins win total over. Keep on moving. I mean, this team's got it going on right now. They're 39-46. That's the same record as the Atlanta Braves. That's wild. Speaking of the Atlanta Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr. makes the All-Star game as a starter, despite 36 starts. My take, deserved. He's been that good. He's been that good. I know that's a little unfair. We just talked James Wood maybe, but Acuna Jr. has been that good. And it's the All-Star game. I think I'm fine with it. James Wood will still be there. Rockies, by the way, picked up one against the Astros 7-6 in that series. So congratulations, Colorado, on their 20th win of the season. It's only July 3rd. Their run differential is minus 223. For reference, last year's 41-win White Sox team was minus 306. I mean, can we get a minus 400 run differential, anyone? Quick update in the W. Liberty lead 21-20 at the end of the first quarter, but the Sparks did just pull up 3, 26-23 as the second quarter gets underway. Aces down double digits to the Fever as their offense is off to a slow start. And we've got the Dream and the Storm starting shortly. Tom Vecchio joins us right here on SportsGrid next.
I was betting on the games and stuff, and I didn't always take the Expos. And there was a game once the Expos came back from like a 9-2 deficit in like the 9th inning. And on the post-game show, I got like 3,000 calls. The phone was blowing up. Reggie, that was the greatest game in the last 10 years of the Expos. Awesome stuff. Hey, what do you think? I'm like, what I think? The Cubs suck.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Just have them put on that hat so the moment can be immortalized. Not Will Riley wearing the hat of the Utah Jazz when he is going to play for the Washington Wizards. It is so dumb. Stop it. You want to do official in terms of your draft tracking status? Fantastic. Switch the hats. Let the moments live. Let them be significant and special. Rant up.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Put Pete Crow Armstrong on the mound to see what he does. Like, Ohtani, just by himself at the plate, is the best hitter in Major League Baseball. Let's just say, keep it in the National League at this point. He's the MVP. So I can't wait till he pitches 6 innings. He gives up 5 earned runs. Time they go like, I don't know if he could be the MVP now. Oh, no, he's still hitting 300 with 45 jacks and just pitched 6 innings in a Major League Baseball game. And people are going to hold that against him.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Will Aaron Judge be at the top of the home run board in MLB? What say you?
Judge probably is going to hit 55, 58. Somewhere around there is be his number there. So I'll say I'm going to buy this. Aaron Judge will lead the major leagues in home runs this year. Listen, I'm not breaking news. I probably would take that every year. And when he plays these next couple until he's getting up there in age, until his bat does start to slow down.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, back with you right here on Game Time Decisions, folks. We're locked in. We've got a lot of your fees cashing, if you are in the mix that way. Hitting the Yanks game, the Nats game, and the Braves game. So a lot happening. We got Tom Vecchio to join us here. Tom, it's great to have you, pal. We can go through some of your action, but the team really wants you to see what I do think is potentially the most ridiculous thing we've even taken some credit for on this show. You might disagree. I remember that Westbrook thing really bothered you. It's an Aaron Judge parlay. It's Aaron Judge for a walk, a strikeout, and a hit-run RBI, plus 144. What's your take?
Not bad. So he
really
got hit by a pitch.
Yeah, so we're so far 0 for 1.
Yeah, so I just want to know like what the book stipulation are for the walk. Is it intentional? Like, because the odds are okay. If we could get closer to 170, I think that's where it should be. So I don't love the odds. I think they're okay, and I think that the outcomes are all there because this is what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, where we asked like what would his average finish at, and I said at a certain point I think it's going to be kind of forced down because he's going to be, intentionally walked a lot. So he goes 0 for 1, 0 for 2, and all of a sudden he's just intentionally walked because it gets later and later in the game. So what does the book stipulate for walks would be the question I have, but I think it's fine.
Wow, that was a really kind breakdown. Actually, can I talk to you about the Aaron Judge batting average?
Yeah.
So when he was hitting 390, right? Everyone's like, it's going to fall, it's going to fall, it's going to fall, which was logical. I was never. I don't know if people thought I thought he was going to hit 400. I didn't think that, but I was trying to figure out where was it going to land. So the lowest we've seen the Aaron Judge batting average get to was 354. I'm sure you've seen this. He's got a smooth 900 on base percentage, which by the way went up so far through July. But he's now back up to 363. Do you think we've seen the worst stretch of baseball Judge will play this season? Has that now already passed us by?
I would say yes. I would say probably is what I would lean to, like 60-40, 70-30. Like, it's probably the worst stretch that we've seen, but I don't see him like rocketing back up to a 380 type of level. Like, if he dipped this far down, I think it'll even out, and again, he'll be in this 330 to 350 kind of range. But I don't think he'll be jumping back up into the 370, 380 kind of category.
Yeah, no, but that's my thing. So if I tasked you with an Aaron Judge batting average over under, what would you, what kind of ballpark are you working at
right now?
He entered today hitting 363.
If I was setting a line for the book, I would put it in the mid 330s.
330s. I think that feels low. I think then, Tom, you're going to need to see another bad stretch of baseball to get into the 330s. I'm not saying 380, but I think if you set it at, are you saying 329 and a half or 339 and a half or in between?
335 and a half.
I would bet over that. I think he hits 340, 350 this year. I do. I think he has a really good chance at hitting 350.
This is like, we're going to be talking about a literal historic season that like no one has ever seen before, because he's hitting this high of an average with 50 some odd home runs, 100 and whatever RBIs. Like, it's unbelievable.
I did the research. I'd have to go through my texts with our producer Sam, but basically, like, and it's not even modern baseball, but just like from 1998 and on, I think it was guys that hit 350 and 50 home runs, or even like 40 home runs. It's like 2 Barry seasons and a Larry Walker season. And
Larry Walker, what a name drop.
Yeah. And like, by the way, just because Larry Walker, yes, was playing in Coors, but was also incredible on the road in that season. Because that's because that, to me, like, so that's kind of been my thing with the Judge season, Tom. The way you frame that, right? If he does that, this is going to be one of the all-time unbelievable. It is. I expect this to be the best season of Aaron Judge's career. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Again, you'd be splitting hairs like, oh, this season he had 60+ home runs, but he obviously doesn't have the average. And if he has 50 home runs or 49 home runs and 120 RBIs, but he's hitting 350. Like, obviously, we have to weight these things just slightly differently. Obviously, home runs are unbelievable. And tying, setting records is crazy. But hitting nearly the same amount of home runs and hitting 350, I would say, is a better season overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's not a slight to his other seasons, right? It's that, like, I don't know if you've seen the market, because I know you bet in the market all the time. Is he still favored? Yeah, he is. He's a minus money favorite to still lead the league in home runs. And he's gonna.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, some of it with Cal Raleigh obviously is unbelievable, but
there's no way.
It's tough, and
it's just not gonna happen.
The park factor like has to be added into, like, it's not a great hitter's park up in Seattle, so there's that. Also, I don't know if you want to dive too deep into lineup protection, because some of that like doesn't factor into the odds. But
go ahead.
I think the Yankees are at a point where they have to make a move, like in a big splashy move at the trade deadline, and therefore Judge will see better lineup protection. And just Stanton being back is important. Yeah, he's not the same hitter he once was, but Bellinger, Stanton, Jazz is going through a good stretch right now. Throw in Bellinger and Goldschmidt. It's like, yeah, they have a better lineup overall compared to the Mariners.
It's also too like, it's just pedigree. Like, I don't know, and I don't know, Tom, if are there some numbers that would see. I don't know if there's like luck with home runs. Like, so I'm being serious. Like, some of the numbers you look at where maybe it's like, hey, like, I don't think Cal Raleigh's going to keep this trend going, but type of thing.
I mean, if you wanted to talk about luck, we could actually go home run by home run, and on Baseball Savant, they have home runs where they're categorized into 3 different categories, like a no doubter, halfway doubter, and then like a lucky home run. So theoretically, if all of Judge's home runs he was hitting them literally to the same spot, like 318 right over, the short porch, then that would be different. Like Cal Raleigh's hitting literally every home run 450 feet. It would be out in every single ballpark. So you can actually look at that kind of stuff on Baseball Savant. So there is a luck factor of like, Cal Raleigh hits all of his as pull home runs when he's a lefty at home, and that's why he's getting so many. I'm just saying that like hypothetically. You can actually look at some of that kind of stuff. I do it during the break.
And I don't mind. Look, I truly, and I really do think you hit on it. The reason the Judge season fascinates me to the degree that it does, because I think we are watching one of the greatest hitting seasons in the history of baseball, and that's enough of a selling point, I think, right? Like I'm not even trying to get into a debate, but like if I almost wish we had one MVP, because then we would have like some more back and forth. But let me say this. There is no Shohei Ohtani case if we had one MVP. None. No, there is no logical Shohei Ohtani case. His 4 innings pitched do absolutely nothing to close the gap on the offensive season that Aaron Judge is having. I don't know if you disagree, Tom, but I don't. Yeah.
And honestly, that's like the kind of thought experiment that, you would like to see writers pose. Like, if we had to choose one, who would it be? If we had to choose one Cy Young candidate, who would it be? Like, you have them like, we're just going to do this after the season. But it is an interesting conversation. And I would say that the NL Cy Young is becoming more and more interesting as the weeks go on.
Yeah. You know what? We'll save that. We'll do a little Skeens Wheeler. Maybe there's another, guy you're interested in potentially.
Whoa, wheel play. No, Wheeler.
This Tom Vecchio. We'll update you on Yanks Jays after the break as well. It's Game Time Decisions. This guy.
Betting on the games and stuff, and I didn't always take the Expos. And there was a game once the Expos came back from like a 9-2 deficit in like the 9th inning. And on the post-game show, I got like 3,000 calls. The phone was blowing up. Bretzi, that was the greatest game in the last 10 years of the Expos. Awesome stuff. Hey, what do you think? I'm like, what I think? The Cubs suck.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Just have them put on that hat so the moment can be immortalized. Not Will Riley wearing the hat of the Utah Jazz when he is going to play for the Washington Wizards. It is so dumb. Stop it. You want to do official in terms of your draft tracking status? Fantastic. Switch the hats. Let the moments live. Let them be significant and special. Rant up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Put Pete Crow Armstrong on the mound to see what he does. Like, Ohtani just by himself at the plate is the best hitter in Major League Baseball. Let's just say keep it in the National League at this point. He's the MVP. So I can't wait till he pitches 6 innings, he gives up 5 earned runs. Tom, they go like, I don't know if he could be the MVP now. Oh, no, he's still hitting 300 with 45 jacks and just hit 6 innings in a Major League Baseball game. And people are going to hold that against him.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Will Aaron Judge be at the top of the home run board in MLB? What say you?
Judge probably is going to hit 55, 58. Somewhere around there is be his number there. So I'll say I'm going to buy this. Aaron Judge will lead the major leagues in home runs this year. Listen, I'm not breaking news. I probably would take that every year. And when he plays, this next couple until he's getting up there in age, until his bat does start to slow down.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, back with the right here on Sports Grid. Kevin Walsh, I'm with Tom Vecchio. Tom, I don't know if you have any bets upcoming. If you do, let us know. If you're rooting on anything, let us know. Where are you at on a Thursday?
I am rooting for the hit parlay, which I tweeted out earlier. Pete Alonso, first part of that game is delayed. Actually, they should be having first pitch right now at 7:45. And then Wenzel Perez on the Tigers. He's already at 2 at-bats. Fly out to pretty deep, but that didn't get it done. Hopefully that comes through. And I don't mind a little Pidge Beckers over 18.5 points. It was minus 122, I believe, a little bit earlier.
All right, a little WNBA action there. I don't mind that at all.
Nice high total. Nice high total. Shot volumes there. I think the Wings could cover.
I'll tell you, most surprising thing I'm seeing on this slate is the Fever cracking Vegas. I never would have thought that. I thought it was such an aces spot. 4.5 point road favorite. Off of the Commissioner Cup victory. Still no Caitlin Clark, Tom.
Wait, are you saying that's more surprising than the Liberty, who were 10.5 point favorites, are down right now by 2?
Yeah, I actually am. Because I'll tell you why, Tom. So, and I wonder if the Aces are now an 11.5 point dog, right? The Liberty are still a 5.5, 6.5 point favorite, give or take. Because I don't think the Liberty are going to lose that game. Do you?
Fair. I mean, I'll be honest. I looked to potentially pair them with the Dodgers, just straight up money line, and couldn't even get there. It was like the Liberty were too heavy of a favorite. And I was like, do I want to take the 10.5 points? I was like, I'll just leave it be.
I actually think, I was messing around with some of the odds moves. I think I do have the Liberty money line in a parlay. Now that you say that,
okay.
So we might have to wake that up a little bit. There. Blue Jays are up 1-0 still on the Yankees. 6-3 Washington leads Detroit. Jake Irvin settling in a little bit. Need him to throw 6 in that game. Angels extend their lead to 3-0 right now on Atlanta. Atlanta, home of last year's NL Cy Young, of course, that was Chris Sale. Finishing in second place was Zach Wheeler. Currently second place on the odds board, Zach Wheeler. Paul Skeens is the favorite, but that is a dropping number. What is your outlook right now, Tom, on the NL Cy Young race?
I don't think any player should be minus money at this point. Like, Skeens is having a great year. There's no doubt about it. But, some of this comes down to what we've talked about before, where let me just sort this real quick just by NL so I have it all in front of me. So when we're looking at just the baseline stuff without getting into like super deep, like Skeens at 111 innings pitched, Zach Wheeler's at 107, right? We understand that that's pretty close. Skeens at 115 strikeouts. Zach Wheeler's at 136. He has fewer innings pitched, and he's nearly 20 ahead of him when it comes to strikeouts. So then we're going to be talking about, okay, their ERAs are nearly the same. Obviously, the wins don't really matter. We know that for Paul Skeens, he's never going to have as many wins as Zach Wheeler does. We know that overall. But then once we start to dive into then some of the advanced numbers, they're pretty darn close, if not having Wheeler better in some of them. So why do we have Skeens as like the odds-on favorite at this point?
So what's interesting is these two guys are now tied in wins above replacement on Baseball Reference. And there was a stretch where Skeens was actually tops amongst just all National League players overall. Was having a really impressive season. I think if the season ended today, Tom, I tend to think Wheeler would win it. I don't know if you would agree. Now, again, season doesn't end today. The difference of when I made that point to you of Skubal and Bubic is I was just making a point of where the season was. Zach Wheeler's pedigree and respect level is significantly higher than that of Chris Bubic. Obviously, I would agree with you. I'm surprised that minus number on Skeens, but I also think, I don't know, they've been willing to let some of these numbers run. Like, I don't think Tariq Skubal should be minus 270, and I'm not trying to bag on Skubal, but I don't think his gap really that much bigger than Hunter Brown and Garrett Crochet right now in that race?
It is. So first off, for Skeens, I think the minus number is still there simply for risk aversion from the books. I just don't think they're going to Wheeler's plus 100 and Skeens is plus 200. That would be an issue for them. Like, they're just not going to do that. So that I can understand. I think Wheeler deserves a ton of respect, and I do think he has a very real shot to win the award this season. When it comes to Skubal and Hunter Brown, again, I think the numbers there partly for risk protection, but when we're looking at what he is doing when we have a big Hunter Brown moment, as we had last Sunday night with Scooball having 13 strikeouts over 7 innings on Sunday Night Baseball, some of that does play into him. Again, the Cy Young is a narrative-driven award to an extent. And when we look at a player like DeGrom, he is going to garner votes this year. So if you have Scooball who's doing things better this year than he did last year in certain areas and have a potential to have a historic repeat Cy Young, that will always put him as the favorite, regardless of some of the other odds and some of the other metrics. But a Hunter Brown or Garrett Crochet as a 1-2 with him, the odds will still always side with Scooball.
I just think minus 270 is a lot, right? Like I
think that's I don't think it's enough. If I would say minus 500 is where it should be.
Really?
It's like, what would you think is be like? Plus, like the gap between Scooball and Hunter Brown is gigantic compared to Skeens and Wheeler. Like Skeens Wheeler's a coin flip, a minus 135 and a plus 150. That's nothing. Like minus 270, 700 is insane.
But I guess, okay, so
I think it should be. It's going to continue to grow. Like this is the best number you'll ever get for Scooball if you wanted to bet on it.
I guess so I understand the premise of, hey, listen, if Skeens is 135, then this guy has to be this, right? I get that premise, but we also agree that the Skeens number is too far anyway, right?
Yeah.
So that number, I don't even know if Skeens should be the favorite. I'll say this, and I want to be very clear. I am aware wins and losses are not how you judge a pitcher. I am very aware of that. I am not sure Paul Skeens at 4-7, and the way all of this is trending, has built up enough pedigree and has created enough distance to Jacob deGrom this whole thing, because sometimes I think people forget how good Jacob deGrom actually was. Also, Jacob deGrom, if I'm not mistaken, didn't win Cy Young with a win-loss under 500. So
I would agree with all of that.
Fair enough. We're going to keep Tom around. We're going to button it up here. It's Game Time Decisions, sending you off into the 4th of July on SportsGrid.
betting on the games and stuff, and I didn't always take the Expos. And there was a game once the Expos came back from like a 9-2 deficit in like the 9th inning. And on the post-game show, I got like 3,000 calls. The phone was blowing up. Bretzi, that was the greatest game in the last 10 years of the Expos. Awesome stuff. Hey, what do you think? I'm like, what I think? The Cubs suck.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Just have them put on that hat so the moment can be immortalized. Not Will Riley wearing the hat of the Utah Jazz when he is going to play for the Washington Wizards. It is so dumb. Stop it. You want to do official in terms of your draft tracking status? Fantastic. Switch the hats. Let the moments live. Let them be significant and special. Rant done.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Put Pete Crow Armstrong on the mound to see what he does. Like, Ohtani just by himself at the plate is the best hitter in Major League Baseball. Let's just say keep it in the National League at this point. He's the MVP. So I can't wait till he pitches 6 innings, he gives up 5 earned runs. Time they go like, I don't know if he could be the MVP now. Oh, no, he's still hitting 300 with 45 jacks and just pitched 6 innings in a Major League Baseball game. And people are going to hold that against him.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Will Aaron Judge be at the top of the home run board in MLB? What say you?
Judge probably is going to hit 55, 58. Somewhere around there is be his number there. So I'll say I'm going to buy this. Aaron Judge will lead the major leagues in home runs this year. Listen, I'm not breaking news. I probably would take that every year. And when he plays, this next couple until he's getting up there in age, until his bat does start to slow down.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Jake Irvin's kind of dealing? Maybe? Can I get 2 more innings? Tom, give me full honest thoughts. 4 innings, 76 pitches. Can I get 6 more outs from Jake Irvin?
No. No. I mean, he started off, it was a really rough start. Was it 32 pitches or whatever it was in the first inning?
39 in the first inning. Here's the thing.
39.
He has been incredible post first inning. That first inning was really bad, though. I think it was 39 pitches. Maybe it was 32, but it was 30-plus pitches. I don't know. I'm holding out hope. Yanks get a run.
They did Trent Grisham homer. I don't think so.
Judge grounds into a double play. Yikes.
The Perez hit, so I would like to see him get hit around. But
So you're rooting against me. That's what it is.
Call it what you will.
Look, late night, I'm on the Dodgers-White Sox game over the 9, Tom. Anything late night catching your eye at all?
No. This was a small slate that I had admittedly little action on. I don't mind the Royals' first 5 with Seth Lugo on the mound. They bumped Brian Wu to tomorrow, so I'd have to check on who they're playing tomorrow because new series start on Friday. But I don't mind a Royals first 5 with Lugo on the mound at over Logan Evans.
Yeah, Wu may be in a fadeable spot there as well. I've mentioned the Mystics potentially being a good spot against the Lynx, catching 11.5. So I will say this, Tom, and I don't know where you are, but July 4th we're going to have some of our Pro Football Today special content air for people, just start to kind of grease the wheels a little bit. I always think process is fun, and I know you're a process guy. Where are you maybe right now in terms of an NFL process?
So my NFL process generally starts MLB All-Star Week. Those just a little bit extra time, a little extra days off. And then, because normally following that week, the mid-teens or late teens of the July dates is when we have training camp start. So kind of all rolls into that, and then we'll have the first Hall of Fame game, which actually July 31st this year, which is rather interesting. But, for me, it's not like I don't need to catch up on where players are. I generally know where most players have gone in the offseason, who had good drafts, what positions need to be filled. But it really just comes down to the availability of props that are posted. Now, obviously, divisions are posted, conferences, et cetera, But for me, it's more about a player prop perspective of do I want to, be high on this player's yards for the season, total touchdowns, whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. And those are going to be rolling out as the summer goes on. So, it all happens starting, in a week or so.
Yeah. When it comes to props, do you prefer to bet an under than an over, or is it kind of whatever the eye is caught by?
If I'm betting an over, I have to have really, really strong conviction in it. And it comes down to usage. It comes down to, player projection, season-long projections, which I will aggregate from multiple sources and average those out. So I'm not just taking one projection. I'll average out a number of different sources that I can get my hands on. There's obviously some personal belief in a player. Do I like this player? Do I think he has talent? Do I think he's going to be out there for 90+% of the snaps, whatever it might be on offense, running routes, those sorts of things. But there is there's a lot of data out there coming out recently that suggests if you just blindly take a lot of unders, especially on receiving yard unders, you'll cash 60% of them or 55% of winners, just because playing time is an issue, injuries are an issue. Even just a player missing a tiny hamstring thing, misses 2 weeks, that sets him off a pace of 70 yards per game. He now has to make up 150 yards in fewer games played. And if the team is out of a playoff position, are going to start rotating in rookies more, et cetera, et cetera. So if I'm taking it over, I've had very strong conviction the player will stay healthy and their team will be in it the entire season.
And what I would say to that point is, those numbers, it is hard to look at and not think, oh, that's an over. A lot of them, if you can get through the season, you're probably going to hit it. I think, and I don't say that, it's not like I've been doing this forever, so I'm not saying this I'm the best, I promise. I think the only time I lost one of a season-long player prop in the NFL to the over, and it wasn't because of injury, was the Tony Pollard outlier touchdown season where he had 700 goal line carries and could not score. And it was one of the. I remember the fantasy. I'm sure you, Tom, the fantasy football community could not believe what they were seeing with Tony Pollard lead running back season in Dallas that year. But
2 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, this year I kept it real small last year. I think I maybe only played one. I think it was like a Bo Nix prop. I'm open to opening it. I want to see if I can find a few season-long unders that I think are really worth targeting, and I know Tom will as well. Tom, we appreciate it. Enjoy the 4th of July. Everybody out there, enjoy it. We'll see you next week.